Well, maybe in the midst of all this, you miss going to the cinema. So I will now tell you, in the spirit of optimism, why you shouldn't. See? Happy. Complaining can be happy. Happy times. Don't go outside. Before the complaining starts, I'll tell you about the best experience at a cinema I've ever had. It was Unfriended 2. As you might imagine, the cinema was completely empty. It was just me and Steve, and because of that, I could enjoy the film the way it was meant to be enjoyed. By screaming at it. The process begins with getting there. No matter where in the world I've been to the cinema, it's either a long walk over a parking lot that's covered in dog turds, burger wrappers, and insane people, or at the very least, quite possibly after that anyway, an extremely long walk to the back end of a procedurally generated mall. And that's after the dice roll of, does the taxi driver think I'm the GPS, or a new friend? Does the bus really go where people think it goes? Did my date bring along a twin that I didn't know existed until right now? Because that's not on. Can you get to those glass doors, those dirty glass doors, before the man with a cigarette asks you for a cigarette? If he's not got a cigarette, he'll ask you for a lighter, and then produce a cigarette, and not offer you a cigarette. Do you have a lighter that I can keep forever? You make it through the foyer past the air hockey tables and the vending machines selling acne cream, and then you're finally into the actual cinema. Nice of you to spring for these reclining seats, movie theatre. Shame about the dark image. Shame about the blurriness that sort of looks like the screen thinks it's about a meter closer to the projector than it is. Shame about the sound system. Change your fucking bulbs
to get ourselves a treat.
I like to time things so that I don't see the ads. And ideally I don't see the trailers, but it's not really a choice. Time isn't after me, it's usually before. Trailers! Do you, movie? Trailers! Ba-ba-ba-ba, get excited for another movie that you're not about to watch. Ba-ba-ba-ba, also shut up. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. If I'm sitting in an art house cinema, wearing a beret with a baguette tucked under my arm, smoking La Frilly cigarette, watching La Courageous Petite Saucisse, I don't want to see a trailer for Despicable Me 3, and if I'm in a movie theatre, presumably with children, for Despicable Me 3, I don't want to see a trailer for American Pie 7. And if I'm in a movie theatre watching American Pie 7, kill yourself. The previews are even worse, although mercifully short. A trailer of a trailer, this time cut to Queen. You like Queen, don't you? Everybody likes Queen. Freddie Mercury, he was a top bloke. And guess who's in it? Will Smith. You like Will Smith, don't you? And Jai Courtney. No? Losing interest? Kristen Stewart is playing the most beautiful woman who ever lived as an actor. Interested now? Interested now? And now, a reminder to turn off your phones, gorge your food, and shut up! One day they won't have trailers. They'll just explain to you the exact emotion they're trying to elicit, as if with a psychological deluxe chart. Oh, Jimmy Bond 25 you're seeing, is it? F277, right. Yeah. That's exciting chrome, scarlet beige horniness, that's got a bit of a texture to it, sort of like a pebble dashing. Sony silver, don't go outside. Thanks for going to see it. I'll call your psychiatrist. The theatres are missing a trick by not having a warm-up room, and Solo could have even broken even. If they did, I'd have definitely bought liquor during that shit. I think I walked out of that film, but they don't, so I spend as little time in there as possible. I'm in there when it starts, maybe 5 minutes after, and I'm out of there as soon as the credits come up, because I need booze. What they do have, however, is the loudest food in the world. Even the hot dogs crunch. And the trailers are the worst place for it, because in the trailers you have prolonged periods of both darkness and silence, where the only thing that you are experiencing is the sensation of sitting on a puckered cushion and listening to determined slurping and chewing channeled in a single direction. Is this what it was like to die as a gladiator in the Colosseum, looking up at the blue sky above Rome as it turns grey for one last time, bleeding out, feeling nothing but a bit of sand on your shoulders, and the pain subsiding, hearing nothing but the indifferent sound of people eating pretzels, and your own body emptying itself for the last time? Are you not entertained?
The chocolate bars and the candy.
Once I sat near the front by mistake and had to get up and walk through the audience, and as I did, the trailers changed. Darkness and then bright light. No sound, just bright light. So everyone looked at me as they unflinchingly continued to eat. And because of that, I have a weird respect for dinner theatre actors, because looking at people who aren't looking at the food they're eating and don't think that anyone can see them is profoundly weird. And it also explains why you have to walk across all these junk food dioramas of the D-Day landings at the end. Wanna take your tin of Monster with you? It cost you $8, dickhead. I guess now I'm talking about the audience, so let me stop being nice and say, shut up! My local cinema doubles as a refugee camp for people who live 5 seconds in the future and feel that it's their moral obligation to tell us present dwellers all about it. That's the Hulk coming right now on the screen. That's the Hulk. Look out, old Vietnamese man. It's Marky Mark behind you. I'm Michael Fassbender, an actor in a movie. You didn't just mistreat that slave, Michael Fassbender. That's not on Michael Fassbender. You shouldn't be mistreating slaves. Maybe that's not as bad as going to a midnight premiere of a movie and sleeping through it, loudly snoring as you do. But my own worst experience in any movie cinema was when I went to see Alien Covenant. I wanted to go and see Alien Covenant, not only because I am a huge Ridley Diddley fan, but also because I was doing a movie about aliens, TM. And I went to my local cinema, which promised me that they would have it when it came out, and they said to me, "Oh, hey George." They knew me. I was always there asking about stuff. "Hey George, yeah, we don't know what happened. It went missing. We'll probably have it back or have found it in about 3 weeks." Okay, so I wasn't going to wait 3 weeks, so I had to travel 3 hours to Tehuacan to a cinema to see it. To a bullshit theatre. One of those theatres that doesn't allow you to bring in your own water or your own bag. So I had to rent a locker to leave my empty backpack and sit in this theatre, and I'm watching Alien Covenant in this theatre, and it gets about halfway through, and it gets to an action sequence, and someone is literally firing a gun at an alien, and it just freezes. And everyone looks around. No one does anything. And then the lights go up in the sort of, you know, the go to sleep mode that they do. And then the audience splits into two. It splits into half of the people don't know what the hell's going on, and half of the people seem to think that this is completely normal and start digging out the sandwiches. And I'm sat there for 5 minutes and I think to myself, okay, might as well put these bathrooms on the list. I come back. It's been 15 minutes now, because I had a good look around. Still not going. So, sit there for a bit longer. 20 minutes. I walk up to the projector room, look in. It's empty. The projector's on. The lights are on. There's a fucking cigarette burning. There isn't. But there could have been. Nothing. And as I'm there, the projectionist comes around and I say to him, "Oh, are you..." He's like, yeah, I'm just about to start it again. And I said, "Well, why... what happened?" And he said, "Oh," smiling as if this was a normal thing that happens all the time. "Oh, I went to lunch." And then he just presses play and starts it again. Like, that couldn't have run with him not there. I'm glad that, you know, you wouldn't let it run without your supervision. What the fuck? Delicious things to eat. So I guess, to keep it positive, as I have done throughout, the next time you're in a movie theatre, if ever that ever happens again, maybe think positive and be thankful. Yes, you're listening to a domestic argument from behind you and you're watching Shannon in front of you Instagram herself despite being in a nondescript dark room. And yes, you have to shield your eyes from the family of beavers chewing down on their wieners on dowels, but at least the thing isn't on fucking pause. Also, it was shit. See you next time on Friday. A Friday. In the future. The next Friday. Depending on when you watch this. A Friday. I'm an influencer!